Hello, it is World Wide Web Wednesday, July 31st, 2019. Steve Sipress here at just the very tail end of a spectacular, beautiful sunset we had today. We had rain kind of last night, kind of all last night, a little bit this morning, and still a few clouds in the sky, and that leads to a colorful sunset here in the monsoon season. If you caught my video last night, you saw I recorded it in the middle of the monsoon hitting here in this area, high winds and a downpour of rain. But then all night and this morning really was just rain without the winds, not really the monsoon. And then tonight, calm and peaceful. And such is summer in the Phoenix, Scottsdale area. Temperatures always over 100 degrees high for the day, and often have the big raging storms coming in. Anyway, today's World Wide Web Wednesday is all about making money on YouTube. You set up your own YouTube channel. This came to mind because I saw a message the other day from someone on one of the social media sites, and she was asking, "Man, how do I tell my kid something like, how do I tell my kid to go to college? My kid wants to be a YouTuber. How do I tell my kid that college is such a much better choice?" I was like, oh man, I must respond here. Of course, college is not, by any stretch of the imagination, a much better choice, unless, of course, your kid is going to one of the very, very few top schools and or absolutely needs a college degree to do something that he or she absolutely wants to do, like be a doctor, although there are lots of things you can do in the medical field without having to waste all that money and time in school. You can get right on it, take action, and get some money coming in instead of handing it over to the biggest scam there is going these days for the last few decades is the higher education scam in New York. So I was like, man. And then, as I was saying, I gotta post my comment there, I saw all the comments, and basically all of them were just what I just put. They were all like, she was like, yeah, he only has 62,000 followers on YouTube. Like, I got to talk him out of this. Everyone was like, 62,000? Only 62,000? Like, I started my channel with X number and blah, 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 and now I'm up to this many and I'm making this much money and whatever. Like, man, whatever happened? I know what happened, but man, to be around 150 years ago or so where entrepreneurs, everyone was a business owner. Everyone had pretty much their own business. The only people who worked for somebody was usually a very temporary basis. They worked as an apprentice, didn't even get paid, of course, but worked for the benefit of learning a trade and learning a skill and getting experience and possibly a recommendation or help getting set up on their own, but it was all about getting out on their own. And other people were slaves, which equates to modern day America now, where people still work. That's why the Industrial Revolution happened. They had to crop up all these factories when officially, legally, slavery ended, because people had the slave mentality that they still have today. They didn't say, oh, I'm free from being a slave, now I can go start my own business. No, of course not. They were like, I'm free from being a slave, now I got to find someone else to work for. In other words, someone else to be a slave to, except for the fact of physical abuse and technically being owned, and that someone else was totally in charge of your entire life, blah, blah, blah. But economically, workers, their bosses are in charge of their life. They decide if they still have a job, if so, when they come in, what they get to wear, what they get to say, what they get to do, what they don't, when they take a vacation, when they don't, when they get the time off, when they don't, blah, 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 blah. And so, man, this generation that has the opportunity through technology to make money by having your own eBay store or selling on Amazon or having a YouTube channel, being a YouTuber, or lots more things where people can make money doing something they love, working the hours they want, working from where they want, and they don't need a lot of money to get started or a lot of expertise beyond their passion, their hobby, their love, their joy, what they want to talk about or do videos about. I do videos. I've recorded a new video every single day for over the past 2 years, coming up on 900 videos pretty soon, consecutively. on helping small business owners make money. That's what I'm passionate about. Small business owners, unfortunately, by all accounts and by all surveys and all the numbers, do not make money. They make, in a lot of cases, a lot less money than a lot of people working in America. And small business owners take a lot more risk, work long hours, have more stress. It ain't done, gotta be that way. So I'll be here every day, God willing, to record another video to help you out as a business owner to make more money. This one is specifically here on World Wide Web Wednesday. If you have a YouTube channel, it's a great way to make a lot of money. You can do it as your sole business. A whole bunch of people do, make tons of money. You can do it as an add-on. You can do it as one of the ways that you do your marketing, and so an adjunct to your business. Like mine. This is not my primary source of income, is recording videos every day. I don't have a big following. I don't advertise my videos. I don't do anything to build up I don't do that whole thing. But if I did, and I have a YouTube channel, but if I did it to make money with the YouTube channel as opposed to just let people know who I am. You know, everyone's going to search you online before they're going to do business with you, and I hear all the time, oh, you know, saw you were speaking somewhere or hosting an event or whatever it was, and I checked you out. Like, man, I've been watching a lot of your videos. They're great, blah, blah, blah. That's why I do them. Besides, of course, helping people out. It's a two-way street. I help other people out, and I get helped out in return. That's the old Zig Ziglar saying, right? You can get whatever you want in life as long as you help enough other people get what they want. So, ironically, now this has become a rather long video, and the answer is you make your intro to your YouTube channel, your YouTube videos, very short. That's it, very short. Now, just a few years ago, and I don't know if you're watching this in the future in the archives, might even be a shorter time, but right now the sweet spot is about 2-3 seconds. That's it. Now, from my generation, the TV watching generation, think about it. You're watching a TV show, and it starts out with a half a minute or a minute long introduction to the show. So Gilligan's Island, well, we like the song Gilligan's Island, but we're seeing it over and over. Anytime you're watching that every single day, Gilligan's Island theme song every day, the Munsters, the Flintstones, the whatever it was, every single day. So your YouTube channel is different. People are not just tuning in once a week to a TV show or once a day. They can binge watch these things over and over and over. So this is more appropriately compared to binge watching on like a Netflix show or an Amazon Prime show or wherever you're binge watching online. Say you're watching 5 or 6 episodes in a row of a show, and you're like, oh, the intro again. We got to sit here through a half a minute or a minute of an intro. Don't do that to people on your YouTube channel. Don't make it a minute. Don't make it half a minute. Don't make it 10 seconds. In the old days you could, years ago. And like I said, in the future it might be down to even less. But right now, 2-3 seconds, that's it. So put a few quick clips in there, put some animation in there, bing, bang, boom. I have things move and have some catchy music or sound effects behind it, and that's it, bang. And you want to get in, get out. If you even use an intro in your videos at all, as you know if you watch mine, including this one, I don't. I just get on, I record it live, and then I take that recording and I put it onto YouTube and all kinds of other social media sites and my blog and my podcast and all that kind of stuff. And I do not put in the intro except on my podcast. I have an intro and an outro on the podcast, and I have the audio only. I have an audio podcast, so in this one, it wouldn't matter. You wouldn't have to look at my ugly mug for the whole duration of the video. The ones where it matters is where, unless, I was talking about the beautiful sunset you see behind me here. You don't get to see that on my podcast because it's an audio. Anyway, I have an intro and an outro on my podcast, 2 podcasts that I host, but not anywhere else. But if you use them, make them short, make them impactful, make them a little bit interesting, fun. If you put a whole bunch, here's a couple of bonus tips. If you put a whole bunch of clips in there rapidly, so in like a 2-second video, you got like 20 clips, that actually has a reverse effect of boring people. Now people want to tune into it. They might even pause it because they're like, wow, that was a lot of stuff just went by, and it looked interesting, and I want to see it again. Or I even want to pause it and see it again. But now, instead of people going, oh my goodness, the intro, come on, get on with it, and they click away, because that's the other thing. The TV generation would be sitting on the couch. Back when I was a kid, there weren't even remote controls. People would sit on the couch and basically, I might be dating myself here, but if you're my age, you would remember when there was only 3 networks, 3 channels, except for the strange, channels 45 and 27 and whatever that nobody really watched, or not much at all. There was the 3 main broadcast network channels, and whatever you turned on at the start of your night's viewing, the nightly news, that was it. You did not get up and turn the channel. That's basically the way programming worked, and there's still remnants of that today on TV, where they want a strong show to kick off the network prime time because they know people will just tune in to the next one and the next one. So they put the strong show on first to draw that audience, and then they'll stay for the next one. Well, that's not the case with your YouTube video, okay? People can click off and go to any other of millions of other YouTube videos or anywhere else they want anytime. They don't even have to get off the couch. They don't even have to click a remote control. There's a hell of a lot more than 3 channels to watch. There's millions. So you got to make it quick, got to make it impactful. And a bonus tip, second bonus tip of the video, is often you want to put a brief period of content, kind of a preview of your video before you do the actual intro to the video. You'll see that on TV shows as well, and you'll see it in movies sometimes. Sometimes you'll see a movie and they put the credits on at the end of the movie. They don't even do the old, starring and, so-and-so production company presents, and they put that on at the end. Or James Bond movies are famous for this. They will have an action-packed 6 or 8 minute sequence where James Bond is doing whatever with a helicopter or skiing to the moon or shooting or whatever the heck he's doing. And then on comes the opening titles, the intro, if you will, and they are following the rules I'm talking about here, other than the fact that they don't make it 3 seconds, because they make that really enjoyable with all kinds of great music from great musicians. They write songs especially for the James Bond movies, and they have great images and video on there that people want to see, that intro to James Bond. But first, they draw people in with immediate start of action to the movie, then the intro. You can do that as well on your YouTube videos or wherever else you put them by saying, hey, do you see the title says, like this one. The title says, I forget what I wrote, but something like, how long should your YouTube intro video be? So today, I'm going to give you a tip based on years of X, Y, and Z, and I had so many followers, and I make this much a month here on YouTube. Again, this is not, but if someone was a YouTube star, they'd be saying all that stuff. I'm going to show you the 3 biggest tips on how to X, Y, and Z without having to do ABC, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be great. And that's what today's video is all about. So strap in for the ride. Boom. Then you put on the 2-3 second intro, and then you say, hi, I'm Steve Sipress, and here's the content. Boom. So there you go. Take it or leave it. That's my tip on how long your intro video should be to YouTube. Again, a lot of people don't use them at all, but if you do, make it short, make it impactful, and possibly put a little preview content on before. That'll do it for World Wide Web Wednesday. Thanks everyone who stayed here with me as the sun sets in the west. I'll be back tomorrow on Throwback Thursday. Catch you then. Bye-bye.